Evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the City of Longview, we'd like to welcome everybody to the November the 19th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the City of Longview, and we're now in order. This time I'm going to call for Commissioner Chad Harkey to give us the invocation and the pledge. If you'll please stand.
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and all of your many, many blessings, and we just thank you, Father, for the opportunity to come here and celebrate our freedoms, and just we pray, Father, for just thankful for the ability to serve, and we just thank you, Father, for this day, and we just pray for wisdom as we make decisions and serve on behalf of the city. In your name I pray, amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 5 on the agenda is the approval for the October 15th, 2024 meeting. Has everyone had an opportunity to look them over? Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I move.
Have a motion to approve the minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? We've now reached the citizen comment portion of the meeting. This portion of the meeting really is not part of the regular planning and zoning. This is just if you have something that you would like to say, you're welcome to do so. I do not have any speaker cards on that. Unless I see somebody approaching the microphone, I will say that there's no citizen comment. Going on to item number 7, the regular agenda. The regular agenda, the purpose of the meeting is to hear all of the pertinent testimony of those that are in support of and those that are in opposition to the applications that are before the commission. Tonight is the first of 2 meetings required to approve a change in zoning. The commission also considers plats. The city council will act on whatever we do tonight on December the 12th, 2024. The order in which we will follow as far as the procedure is concerned is that the public hearing will be opened. Testimony will be heard in the following order. First of all, we'll hear from the staff, which is Angela. Then we'll hear from the applicant, and then the general public, those in support and those that against. At that time, at the end of it, I will close the public hearing and ask for a vote. We'll go to regular agenda item A. Angela.
Thank you. This is on the regular agenda. Consider application P24-07 Mission Creek Subdivision, Unit 6, filed by Mission Creek Development LLC to plat approximately 15.653 acres of abstract 360 of the Adjourn survey into 38 residential lots located on the south side of Page Road, west of Delia Drive. So the applicant is finishing out the Mission Creek subdivision, platting approximately 15 acres into 38 residential lots located along Mesa Drive, Mission Creek Drive, and Monterey Drive. There are a few outstanding items on their punch list that need to be completed that are attached in your packet. The applicant has not finished the outstanding items or provided an estimate for the required infrastructure with security prior to this meeting, which is required by our UDC. Staff recommends a conditional approval with the following requirements: that all of the punch list items are completed or the applicant provide an estimate with security for the outstanding items. Once all those conditions are met, the plat would be considered approved and staff would file it at the courthouse. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Commissioners, do you have any questions on this item for Angela? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak in favor? Anyone in the audience against? Any additional questions? If not, I will call for a motion.
Move to approve with the conditions that staff.
We have a motion to approve with the stipulations as they were outlined.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Passes unanimous. Going to regular item B.
Thank you. A public hearing will be held to consider Z24-17, filed by DSF Partners and Richard E. Clark, requesting a rezone from agricultural zoning district to SF4 zoning district for approximately 10.140 acres of abstract 186 Dolores Sanchez survey, tract 81, section 5, located east of the intersection of Gilmer Road and Greg Tex Road, north of Winding Way. So the applicant is requesting to rezone this property from agricultural, seen here in the green, to single-family 4. This is additional phases of the Southern Oaks subdivision. I believe it should be phase 3 and 4. They would like to, like I said, develop another phase of that Southern Oaks subdivision that has already begun, and it started off of Gilmer Road. Greg Tex is classified as a city street and is maintained by the city of Longview. Gilmer Road is classified as a TxDOT roadway and is classified as a principal arterial. Staff finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with our future land use map and surrounding uses. Therefore, it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Commissioners, you have any question of Angela at this time? Seeing none, I will ask for the applicant to approach the microphone, state your name, and present what you're wanting, please.
Yes, I'm John Bull of Longview, Texas. We're, like what Angela said, we're wanting to just expand the Southern Oaks subdivision into a future phase. We're not quite ready to do anything with this one yet, so we're doing the zoning in front of, we're currently just working on phase 2 right now, so this will be phase 3. So we're just trying to get ahead of it, get our ducks in a row.
Applicants, you have any questions? Not applicants. Commissioners, you have any questions? Sorry about that, of the applicant. I guess you're off the hook.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the public hearing, and is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak in favor? Anyone in the audience would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we have a question.
SF4 is,
SF4 is the rest of the neighborhood. Southern Oaks Phase 1 and 2 is SF4. SF4 is a 7,500 square foot lot, I believe minimum 60 by 100. And then I think 1,200 square foot house size.
okay.
And that's a minimum. They can always exceed that.
Any other questions? Okay, I will close the public hearing and call for a vote.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Regular agenda item C.
Thank you. Public hearing be held to consider application Z24-18 filed by the City of Longview requesting a rezone from General Retail Zoning District to Single Family 4 Zoning District for a portion of Lot 1A and all of Lot 1D and 1E Block 366 Southside Gardens located on the west side of MLK Boulevard, south of Jordan Street. So the city is initiating a rezone request for this property located here along MLK. The city does actually own a portion of this, one of these lots. And we have another person that wants to build a house on the other 2 lots. The previous zoning ordinance permitted single-family in general retail zoning district. However, the current UDC does not allow that. Therefore, these properties are considered non-conforming. In order to correct this, the City of Longview is requesting a rezone in order to, for somebody to build a single-family home on this property. Martin Luther King is classified as a collector, and Jordan Street is classified as a local street. All roadways are maintained by the City of Longview, and this type of development is appropriate along this roadway as long as access management is followed. Staff finds the proposed zoning change is consistent with our future land use map and surrounding uses. Therefore, it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions of Angela? See none, I will open the public hearing. I don't think the applicant is here, correct?
Well, we are the applicant, yeah.
Oh,
We-
okay, that's right.
staff is the applicant.
Sorry about that, staff.
Yep.
All right, open the public hearing. Anyone like to speak in favor? Anyone in opposition? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Have a motion for approval?
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, item number D.
Thank you. A public hearing will be held to consider application Z24-19 filed by Eric Vineyard requesting a rezone from light industrial zoning district to heavy industrial zoning district for Lot 3, Block 1, Gregton Business Park located at 3006 and 3008 West Marshall Avenue. So the applicant is requesting to rezone this property located here at 3006 and 3008 West Marshall Avenue, seen here on the map, from a light industrial zoning district to heavy industrial zoning district. Currently, the lot has an office and a warehouse located on this property, and the applicant proposes to store some radioactive material used for industrial radiography at this location. The UDC currently defines light manufacturing or industrial uses as a light manufacturing process which does not emit detectable dust, odor, smoke, gas, or fumes beyond the bounding property lines or the lot or tract upon which it is located on, and which does not generate noise or vibration at the boundary of the light industrial district, which is generally perceptible in frequency or pressure above the ambient noise level in the adjacent areas, and including but not limited to such uses as woodworking, planing mill with dust and noise odor control, textile manufacturing with dust and odor control, ceramic and pottery manufacturing with dust, odor, and fume control, plastic products manufacturers with dust and fume control, paint, oil, shellac, and lacquer manufacturer with hoods, fume, destructors which are used in the cooking process, grain processing with hoods, dust, odor control, gel-electric plating, or battery making with acid, fume, and odor controls, or manufacturing or industrial operations of any type which meet these general conditions set forth above, and which are not offensive by the reason of admission of noise, odor, smoke, gas, fumes, dust, glare, or the creation of a hazard, but specifically excluding the uses listed in heavy manufacturing or industrial uses. So that's the definition for light industrial. The UDC further defines heavy manufacturing or heavy industrial as the servicing or storage process, but not prohibited by law, except for the following uses may be located in heavy industrial zoning district upon approval by the city council in accordance with the procedures established in the UDC. Such uses allowed in heavy industrial include acid manufacturing, ammonia manufacturing, carbon black manufacturing, cement, lime, gypsum, or plaster of Paris manufacturing, chlorine manufacturing, cotton gin or compress, explosives storage or manufacturing, glue and fertilizer manufacturing, petroleum and petroleum products refining and manufacturing, petroleum tank farm, petrochemical plant, rendering plant, tanning, curing, treating, or storage of skin or hides, wreckage yard or salvage yard, or of any use which, due to the possible emissions of excessive smoke, noise, gas, fumes, dust, odor, vibration, or danger of explosion or fire, is presently or in the future determined a hazard and subject to special control. So that is the definition for heavy industrial zoning. After staff reviewed these definitions, it was determined that the storage of radioactive material requires that heavy industrial zoning. Therefore, the applicant is requesting to rezone this property. Now, West Marshall Avenue is classified as a principal arterial and is maintained by TxDOT. This type of development is appropriate along this roadway as long as access management is followed. Staff finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with surrounding uses, therefore it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions of Angela at this point?
Does this business currently operate here and you found out through the UDC that it needs to be rezoned, or are they trying to relocate here?
I believe the current business is here, but they are not storing anything on site yet. I think they are wanting to, I believe.
So they currently inhabit the building that's back there?
That is correct.
Okay. But they're not doing any manufacturing or anything like that?
That is correct.
Okay. Storage.
Anyone representing you here to answer questions?
Yes, the applicant
Yeah.
is here.
I'm fixing to call the applicant up here, Mr. Northcutt. If you will state your name, speak into the microphone, give
Yes.
your address, please.
Gerald
And before you get
Yep.
started, I have several speaker cards on this. One thing I failed to say, keep it to 5 minutes, all of you that want to speak tonight. And if you have a spokesman, it's usually better. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Gerald Northcutt. My address is, I live in Shreveport, but I've worked here for several years. So we will go with whatever y'all want us to go with. If y'all want it to be heavy industrial, that's fine. We don't see why it needs to be heavy industrial. I have 15 we have 15 locations, none of which are heavy industrial. They're all either commercial. I think 4 of the 15 are light industrial. We're currently in Lakeport, in one of Glenn Davis's buildings. And we're looking to relocate into this location. There's also another business in town, identical to ours, that is light industrial. Stores the same equipment we do. Like I said, we do industrial radiography, so we go on site and take x-rays of whether it's a pipeline or a weld in the facility. Also do ultrasonic stuff. So I can answer any questions that y'all would like regarding what we do, but we build nothing. We do call-out work. We store stuff at that location, and we go out and perform work, whether it be on a right-of-way somewhere or in a facility like Eastman or wherever. So there's no manufacturing, there's no dust, there's no smoke, there's none of those things by definition, no sound. So, I mean, if y'all wanted heavy industrial, we have no problem with that, but we don't see the need for you to change it to that. So, like I said, I'm willing to answer any questions y'all'd like. Yes, sir.
So it's really just part of the equipment that you
Yeah,
use?
it's probably about a foot, 18 inches long maybe, 6 inches wide, 6 inches tall. That's the camera that stores the radioactive isotope in it. Like I said, that's not new to Longview. There's been a couple companies in Longview that do that, and there's one currently operating in Longview that does that.
So it's just a radioactive
It's an
device
isotope. It's an
for
isotope.
search.
We can use isotopes. Of course, we're regulated by the state, we're regulated by the NRC. We can use an isotope, which is what's in these cameras, or we can use an X-ray tube, which is similar to what you'd use in a hospital. For most industrial stuff, because of the ease of using the isotope is easier, to use. We've got a lot of regulations we have to do with the state, as far as we have everything alarmed, we have people have to be badged. I mean, FedEx delivers these things to us. It's not like, you have to have a special container. FedEx rides around with it in the back of their truck with no locks, no, anything. You never know when one's in the back of their truck. So, I mean, it's not.
And is
Everything
this one item, is it the one of the concern from
Yeah,
from
that's-
everybody? Is this
Yeah.
a piece of equipment? or
Yeah, it's the piece of equipment.
Item?
Yes, sir.
Thank
So
you.
you're currently not at that location? You're currently in Lakeport? And you're moving to that
We have
location?
some people working in that location, but they're not storing anything. We're not doing any work out there. All the radioactive cameras are at the facility at Lakeport.
Okay.
Yes.
So, why would you move them to this location? I'm just curious.
We were cost. The building was better. I mean, and one of the things we do when we move into a new facility, we have, and I think it's even been the regulatories. The landowner will go, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to store. They sign off on that, so they understand. We try to be transparent with everything. We have to let the cities know, first responders and everything, because there is a radioactive material there. If there's a fire or something, hey, this is, like I said, the other business that's in town that has it, myself and these other gentlemen have walked them through that building and showed them where all the stuff is at. I mean, so the precedence is already there as light industrial. So, but at the end of the day, whatever it needs to be, just so we can go to work, that's all we care about. We can leave it like light industrial, probably a less headache for all of us. If it needs to be heavy, that's fine. Let's just do what we need to do.
Where's the traffic look like just on a daily basis. Just
As far as in and out of it?
Yeah, in and out of it.
We have, what, 5 trucks? 5 trucks go in and out of that. You know, they leave out in the morning, they come back in the evening. So, I
Okay.
mean, there's not heavy traffic.
What
Yeah.
size trucks?
Sir,
Size trucks?
3/4 tons. You'll see the camera, it looks like a shrimp truck on the back of it. It's a dark room.
Yeah, you're just doing, taking pictures of pipes, see if the
Ba-
welds are good, that's all you're doing.
Basically, yes, sir. And that's some other things, but yes,
Yeah, and the unit is self-contained.
these
that you're
self-contained.
taking. Yep, okay. You're just doing basically x-rays in a mobile device, in a mobile
Yes, sir.
environment.
It's a mobile facility. We go to locations wherever that might be. And like I said, we do a lot of work on pipelines. Like
How
I
many
t-
units would you have stored there on a regular basis?
I think we got those 5 and a spare, and then a cobalt source that we use, that we work out at VTech on a daily basis. So,
So not that many units.
no, sir.
Total of 6.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna tell you we may not have more at some point, but it's not ever gonna be a crazy number. And at any point in time, y'all wanna come in, y'all do yearly inspections anyway. And we make a point when they come in, we walk them through everything, we show them where everything's at, just so they know.
Are they required to have any kind of protective room or material around them or anything like that? You just said they'd ship them on UPS, so.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, you get to talking to the feds and the state, everybody, and not everybody's on the same playing field.
Different
So
field.
we do make sure there's a certain, when you store it in a room, which we've actually got a Connex box outside that'll have some bricks on the inside. There's a certain level that state allows outside of that building. We make sure it meets that. And it has to have 2 locks. When you go in, there's gotta be 2 sets of locks. We make sure that it meets all those regulations. Our people, when they're working, have to have monitoring devices, just like in a hospital. They have a film badge and a dosimeter. We're required to carry a couple survey meters while we're out, making our exposures wherever that might be in the truck. I mean, somebody wanted to look at it, we could carry you to the lake. I mean, Lakeport's not far. You can go look at what we have and see how we do it. We could show you a truck. I mean, like I said, it's not really anything new for Longview. There's probably a lot of them running around that don't even realize what they are,
Did you said you were subject to state inspections?
Oh, yes, sir. We have one mandatory inspection at the facility every year, and then we're subject to state audits. At any point in time, they can show up on one of our job sites.
And this question, I guess, would be more for Angela. Does the city have any agency in place or something that could, inspect them to comply with, whatever they're doing?
We do not. I mean, they follow the state regulations, yeah.
Did
Like-
you say Railroad Commission?
No, sir, we deal with the Department of Environment, the Department of Environment.
Okay.
And then, of course, the NRC, has, at any time can come in. They don't govern Texas specifically, but we have had them come in and do an audit every once in a blue moon.
Do you handle any waste,
No.
radioactive waste?
No, sir.
So if they
Don't want
walk-
to either.
So if you were to walk in there with goodness, what's the terminology for the, yeah, the
Yeah,
the
survey
counter,
meter,
would-
Geiger
would-
counter, yeah.
Would you pick up anything at all?
The needle would move. I mean, yeah, when you walked in the room. When it's in the shielded position, very low. You're gonna have to get right up close to it
Okay.
to have it do anything.
Okay.
But we have all that stuff in place, I mean, to meet the state requirements, so.
So regarding the zoning, is the zoning requiring it to be heavy industrial because of what they're
I mean,
putting in there?
we're following Angela's
Yeah.
lead
What
on that
that's
one.
Yes.
stating there? Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and he says there's another location, but we don't have any records of them storing any materials. I mean, I've done the research, I tried looking through it.
But, and like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I was with them when they had to let the city know. Now,
Yeah.
15 years ago, a lot of things happen, paper gets lost.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you can go over there and they would gladly take you in the back and show you everything that they have. They're not gonna hide anything from you. They're all good people. I know every one of them, or most of them. Anyway, some of them have
But
changed.
yeah, when staff looked at it, we looked at the definitions, we looked at, we tried to look at the definitions and what fit, and heavy industrial unfortunately fit what they,
Okay.
most likely what they were doing.
I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss you at this time, and then
Okay.
we may need to call you back.
No problem.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going ahead and open the public hearing, asking first, is there anyone in the audience that likes to speak in favor? Besides the applicant. All right, anyone like to speak in opposition? If you do, approach the mic, state your name, please.
My name is Eric Slack, 316 Bridgers Hill Road, Longview, Texas.
Speak into the mic, please.
Sorry. My name's Eric Slack. I live at 316 Bridgers Hill Road. I've got 11 concerns and 6 notes. Air quality. Radioactive materials significantly impact air quality by introducing ionization radiation into the atmosphere, which can directly harm human health when inhaled, causing respiratory issues, increased cancer risk, and potential damage to DNA due to radiation emitted by radioactive particles. What we don't know, in my opinion, when you open them up to heavy industrial, what limits them only to do enclosed things? And are y'all going to inspect them on a yearly basis to make sure in 10 years that that's what they're still doing? Sound levels, what is that? We would need to know, where a business right beside them, what sound levels are going to be elevated when they go to this next level. How long? There's more to it, but there's a women's shelter right beside them with children. Can they do it all night? Is it all day and night? That's all important. Vibration effects. They do have trucks. They might have 5 trucks, but they don't. It's not one at a time. It's maybe 25 trucks a day, essentially. Will that be increased? That's all vibration and noise. Pollution, you might not want to get into it, but what happens if something happens? Water pollution, there's ground pollution. When you open it up, anything could technically happen in the future. Pine Tree ISD, you've got a middle school that's located a half a mile south. You've got a high school located 3/4 a mile north of them. They serve 2,200 students and staff every day. Homes and businesses, there's several homes and businesses all around this area. This is in the middle of Longview. This isn't out in some pasture land. This is going to affect people. Austin Bank, which is right there, they didn't get notices because they happen to be 500 feet away instead of 300 feet. They serve hundreds of people and they employ 100 people every day. Again, the men's shelters right across Highway 80, hundreds of people every year they see. The women's shelter and kids shelters right there with their cottages. Property values, what does that do to all the businesses and homes that are around them? It's probably not going to be good for the businesses and homes that now are beside some that's now been elevated to heavy industrial with radioactive materials stored. And I was trying to explain, it's permanent because it's going to be heavy, it's going to be radioactive materials always stored, in and out, coming in, but essentially permanent. There's always going to be something there. It's never just going to be gone, if that makes sense. Notes. In my opinion, the notice that was sent out that said, essentially, we're going to move from light industrial I-1 to heavy industrial I-2 really doesn't mean anything to the public. There should have been, in my opinion, much more notice about what was just read off. The only reason we came is because we called. And I was really more concerned about the noise level and the vibrations on our business. And then, the radioactive. I also think it's a bad look. You're going to place this stuff beside the women's shelter. These are the people most in need in our community. It's not going to help them prosper. It can't be good to be there. Location, this is in the heart of Longview. We're at Highway 80. You can see all the homes and businesses if you zoomed out a little bit. It's all around. We're not off on a loop somewhere with grassland. It seems to me that there should be somewhere else with more land space where if something happened, it wouldn't infect all the community right around. I already mentioned the trucks in and out. And I'll reiterate this. Once you open them up to heavy industrial, who monitors what they actually do? I know what he's proposing they're doing now, and maybe it's great. Maybe it's okay, but who knows from here on forward, because it just opens them up to do more if they need to. That's my comments.
Did y'all have any questions for this gentleman? No?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Do you live around the area that's on
We are at 206 Sim Street. We're on the back side of them.
Sim Street, okay?
Yeah, right behind them.
Right across the street
Yeah,
from
right
King
across.
Tool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is your business? You mentioned your business.
Yeah, we're B&D Electrical. We've been there since 1978 in that same location.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have three of the speaker cards. If you'd approach, one at a time, please. Be sure you speak into the microphone and state your name and address.
My name is Helen Johnson. I own all of the property from the men's mission down to where Schindeldecker's property begins. It's 3011 West Marshall Avenue, and I actually own the House of Hope. It is a shelter for homeless women. We have lots of newborn babies brought into our home. We have lots of pregnant ladies that come out of off the streets and have their babies there. I have a few questions. Some of my questions have already been answered, like, number one, let me ask this. When they come into that area, the property, when you walk out my front door at 3011 and you walk across the street between the tire company and there's a blue building company over there, and then in between the children's playground and the women's ministry where they have the women and the children. Then behind that, there are two buildings. There's one that at one time was an old paint shop. Is that the warehouse they're talking about storing in? And on the other side to the left, as you're walking toward the railroad track, there's also was a print shop there and some office buildings. So when you go out away from, when you're starting out the backside of Highway 80's property, you'll see a sign that says rezoning. Are those the two buildings that they're talking about storing the materials in? And also, we sleep 50 to 72 women practically year-round every night. We feed a lot of men that come from Highway 80 for whatever reason that they're not eating at Highway 80. They come to our back door, ring the bell, and we feed them. We have a lot of women that have slept in those woods behind Highway 80. We have a lot of men that have slept up there in those woods. I can give you examples if you're really wanting to know how many. We have stats, we have data written with exactly how many we think sleep in those woods in the night. Every once in a while, you'll see a woman go up there with children, and she'll go with a tent and just meaty or whatever kind of things she can get together. We don't advocate that, but there's reasons that they don't want to come into the shelter. The next thing is our girls and our men don't have cars. They use that bus route. I've been there, will be 19 years, February the 6th next year. And we do have one little car that we take them to the doctor. But if they have any other government business or any other business in town, they have to ride that bus or they have to walk. And I'm very concerned about that. When we start talking about those two buildings, they're not brick buildings. They're not very stable in appearance. And when we start talking about the people that are going to walk in that area every day, I don't know how safe that's going to be. Because the general population that we see every day is not going to be aware that that's radioactive, or are they? Are they going to put up signs that says you don't need to come around this building? I know I have a big meter box in my pantry in the back of my building, and it's got big alert signs everywhere that says do not enter into this room, keep this door closed. And I know that that's probably just a minor thing compared to one-ton trucks coming and going all day. I'm quite concerned. A lot of questions have been answered since I've been here, but I'm not, I'm 300 feet away from the place. The street that's in front of me, when you walk out my door and you walk up towards Highway 80, that is not a street. It does not have a street name. It's an access road going to Highway 80 and that property. So are they going to rebuild a street that's not going to be just that walkway? For example, Laura and I, my friend and I went the other day to see exactly what was up there, because it's been a while since I've been back in that area. And the kids were running across the street to the playground. The playground's on one side, they live on the other side. So I just wanted to share my concerns and ask about, is there a new street? Are there new buildings? Those buildings don't look safe for habitation. I'm not sure what kind of item or personal thing that they're going to put in there, okay? Just wanted to say that. Thank you for your time.
Hold on just a minute. Any commissioners have any questions, Ms. Johnson? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak in opposition? I have another speaker card, I thought. There we come.
I was just dragging my feet. I'm Jonathan Alford. I actually live in White Oak, but I work right next door. I work at Highway 80 Rescue Mission, and those right there on the edge of that green line, that's our property line. So we house, potentially we can house 75, 85 people, women and children, every single night on that property. So I looked up before we came here, before I got ready for this. I started pulling up our records. We didn't start keeping track in the computer of how many people came through until, I guess it was about 2010. But in that time, we have registered over 12,000 individual people have stayed in that little building, in those little buildings right next to that since then. I guess, I wouldn't say I'm all that concerned about in this exact moment what's going to be there, but once it gets zoned I-2, what can go there in the future? I'm not sure if they're purchasing this property, if they're renting this property. I know how quick the economy can change and how businesses can change. And they mentioned that they're coming here because they found a way to save money. What happens if they found a way to save more money in the future and they go to another location? And I mean, that works out just fine for their business, but then what goes in our backyard? You talked about, with it being I-2, the noise, the vibrations, I think there was air quality that was also allowed with that. So I guess I-2, they could put in a cement making company, right? Because there is one on the other side of the track. So they could come in and bring their cement trucks. It doesn't, I mean, the possibilities are endless once we go down this route.
Any questions, commissioners? Thank you, appreciate it. Also like to be sure that this is entered into the record, opposition that was from the executive director of the Highway 80 Rescue Mission. All right, anyone else in the audience like to speak in opposition? I have one question, Angela. If we would rezone this to heavy industrial, then in the future it remains heavy industrial in case they decided to sell or move out. It means you could have a fertilizer plant in there, or?
Yes, sir, that is correct. The zoning
A lot of
will
other
change.
things.
Yes, the zoning is permanent, even when the leasee decides to leave or the property owner sells that property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioners, any of you have any questions? If-
Angela, you mentioned in the staff report about maybe needing a specific use permit when you were going over the definition for heavy industrial. So would that still be required to get a specific use permit?
So no, the zoning change would be as is, and so if they came in with another use that in the UDC required a specific use permit in heavy industrial zoning district, then that specific use permit. Unfortunately, that definition has some strange verbiage, but if the UDC listed that use in the use chart and it required a specific use permit in heavy industrial zoning district, then they would need that specific use permit. But if this zoning change were approved, they would be allowed to store radioactive materials at this site without the specific use permit.
Any other questions, Commissioner? We'll close the public hearing then. I will entertain either a motion to deny this request or a motion to approve.
I'll move to deny it.
We have a motion to deny. Do I hear a second? Have a second. All in favor of the motion to deny, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, passes unanimous. It has been denied. Regular agenda item E.
Right, a public hearing will be held to consider application Z24-20 filed by JLF Holding LLC, requesting a rezone from heavy commercial zoning district to two-family zoning district for approximately 1.19 acres of abstract 256 M-Man survey, tract 32, section 2, located at the east side of Lake Lamont Road, south of Tex Pax Street. So the applicant is wanting to rezone this property shown here on our zoning map from heavy commercial zoning district to two-family. The applicant would like to build some duplexes on this property. Currently, this property is vacant. However, just to the north, there is a duplex on that property. And then to the north of Tex Pax Street, there is a multifamily apartment complex. And then over to the east side of this property, there are some single-family homes. Staff does find that the proposed change is consistent with surrounding uses. Therefore, it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer your questions at this time.
Any questions of Angela? The applicant, Mr. Ferguson, if you'd explain your proposal.
Yeah, I'm Joe Ferguson, and I just would like to rezone this lot to build some duplexes. We currently own quite a few, and we develop and bring quality housing to the area.
Any questions, commissioners? Let you off easy. Opening the public hearing, anyone like to speak in favor? Anyone like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Does pass unanimous. Item number F, I believe.
Thank you. A public hearing will be held to consider application Z24-21 filed by the City of Longview requesting a rezone from general retail zoning district to single-family 5 zoning district for lots 12A and lots 12 through 15, Block 7, Fairview Addition, located on the northwest corner of Jefferson Street and 7th Street. Staff has had a request to renovate a home located within this area. And so staff decided to initiate a rezone, to rezone these properties from general retail shown here on this map to single-family 5 zoning district, which is currently directly adjacent to this property. Currently, all of these properties have single-family homes located on these properties. As I stated before in our previous staff reports, the previous zoning ordinance did allow single-family in general retail zoning district. However, the current UDC does not. So therefore, staff wants to bring these properties into compliance, and so we are requesting to rezone this property to single-family 5. Staff finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with surrounding uses, therefore it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer your questions at this time.
Any question of Angela? I'm going to open the public hearing. Anyone like to speak in favor? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Regular item G. Angela?
Thank you. A public hearing will be held to consider application Z24-22 filed by Kevin Shelley requesting a rezone from General Retail Zoning District to Single Family 3 Zoning District for Lot 6, Block 10, Ware Place, located at 404 West Garfield Drive. So this property shown here on Garfield Drive. The applicant is requesting to rezone from general retail, shown here on this zoning map, to Single Family 3, which is currently located to the east of this property. In 1987, City Council approved a rezone from Single Family 3 to General Retail Zoning District to allow for a dentist office. The applicant would like to renovate the property in order to sell it as a single-family home. As stated previously, we used to allow single-family in General Retail Zoning District. However, the current UDC does not. Therefore, this property is considered non-conforming, and in order to allow for the applicant to renovate this house, they are requesting a rezone of this property to bring it into compliance with zoning. Garfield Drive is classified as a local street and is maintained by the City of Longview. This type of development is appropriate along this roadway as long as access management is followed. Staff finds that the proposed zoning change is consistent with surrounding uses, therefore it does not constitute spot zoning. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Questions of Angela? The applicant, Mr. Shelley, is here. If you want to address this quickly, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kevin Shelley. I live at 2 Dorchester Circle. I purchase homes. I've been doing it for about 7 years and then renovate them. I bought this one in a foreclosure auction. I just thought it was a single-family home, and then when I got possession of it, I thought that too. But when I looked at the zoning map, I found it wasn't. And Ms. Sheeran kind of helped educate me a whole lot on what I needed to do to try to sell it. And I want to sell it legitimately as a single-family home. So that's why I'm here.
Any question, Mr. Shelley? Thank you, appreciate it. I will open the public hearing. Is anyone in the audience would like to speak in favor? Seeing none, anyone in the audience would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I will call for a motion.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Passed unanimous. Okay, item number 8 is the staff update. The last item on the agenda. Angela, will you please provide us an update of what the city council did?
Yes, sir. All the zoning items that were before city council were approved. There was 2 items, one being the Bivens addition, city-initiated rezone, and then the other was Kate Street, the pickleball courts. Both of those were approved by city council.
Okay, this concludes tonight's meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you all.